In today's video, we're taking a quick look back at my chaotic Game Week 15 team and then diving straight into my Game Week 16 team selection to see if I can actually turn this season around. Let's get into it. Game Week 15 was one of those weeks where you want to throw it in the bin, light it on fire, and then launch it into the sun. I ended on 36 very sad points, and trust me, every single one felt personal. Gay, he saved me from complete embarrassment with a goal and 8 points. Saka got an assist and then a yellow card, and then he was subbed off early. Gravenberch chipped in with an assist and finished on 5 points, which honestly feels like a miracle at this stage. The worst thing about this week was leaving Chaluba's 11 points on the bench. I had meant to put him in my starting 11, but I totally forgot and ended up with 1 point from Anderson. And Van de Ven was also on my bench with 6 points, but I had no plans of playing him, but he still came away with a clean sheet. So overall, a very, very poor week. My overall rank is absolutely horrible at 2.9 million, and at this point I'm just hoping to make it in the top million by the end of the season. Anyways, enough sadness, let's take a look at my Game Week 16 team. In goal, I've got David Raya. Arsenal seems to be allergic to keeping clean sheets lately, probably because of all the rotation with their defenders, but they face Wolves this week, and Wolves don't exactly strike fear into anyone in front of goal, and if Arsenal ever wanted to sneak in a clean sheet, now would be the best time. At least I'm begging, please, Raya, get me some points. First up in my defense is Timber, so that clean sheet is very, very necessary with my double up. He somehow got defensive contribution points last week, the first time for this season, and I really didn't see that coming, but hey, I'll take those points. And he's got 2 goals and 3 assists so far for the entire season, so he does have that ability to get attacking returns as well. He is currently yellow flagged with a knock, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna play him completely as yet. I'll wait until after the press conference to see what Arteta says to decide what to do with him. Next is Chalobah, who is quickly becoming my king of accidental hauls. Great defender, capable of the odd attacking return and defensive contributions. He's up against Everton this week, and after benching his 11 points last week, I'm playing him even if he walks onto the pitch wearing slippers. Finally, Mickey Van de Ven, he's up against Nottingham Forest this week. He also kept a clean sheet on my bench last week because, of course, why not? That's the only time he seems to get points. He was on my bench when he scored that 23 points a couple of weeks ago, and now for this clean sheet last week that I did not expect at all. So he's in my team this week. Hopefully he can get at least 2 points. To the midfield, I have Saka, Gravenberch, Rogers, and Bruno Guimaraes. On paper, the fixtures look great. In reality, my team has a long history of just ignoring fixtures altogether. Saka versus Wolves is my best bet. He can score, assist, get depth cons, and he usually picks up bonus when he does. So he's my best hope of getting like a double-digit return this week. So I'm banking on him for that, and he will be my vice captain this week. Gravenberch is up against Brighton at home, which looks promising, but he's not the most attacking player in the game, but maybe he can pick up some depth cons this week like he usually does. Rogers is up against West Ham, which looks like a solid fixture on paper, but Rogers hasn't had the best start to the season, but this will be a good time for him to just come in and get some returns. With Bruno, he's up against Sunderland this week. Hopefully he can get some points. I did bring him in last week just to avoid those price rises and falls. Hopefully he can get some points as he's been doing all season. but knowing my team, once I brought him in, he'll probably stop scoring. So my midfield is where all my differentials are. Saka is my most owned midfielder at 19%. The rest of them, they're either like hidden gems or just really good at hiding from points. At this stage, I don't even need double digits from them, just something, anything, a straight assist, bonus points for breathing. Really, I'm not very picky. Up front, I have Erling Haaland against Crystal Palace. He's been on and off recently. Someone might need to unplug the robot and plug him back in real quick so he can get a quick reset. But he does get the armband this week because if he ever decides to be on, I want all of the points. And he's so heavily owned at this point that if you don't captain him and he picks up a haul, your rank will be in the dumps. Then I have Woltemade and Thiago, who face Sunderland and Leeds at home. One of them might score, or both, or neither. Let's be honest, it's probably neither with how my team is going, but the fixtures are good, so I want to remain optimistic about getting some more points this week. On the bench, I've got Casemiro, Gehi, and Anderson. Look, I am very worried about benching Gehi. The man is a menace. He's constantly getting points. He so far has 2 goals and 4 assists, and he picked up defensive contributions 6 times, and Crystal Palace, or with him, have kept 6 clean sheets so far. I'm not sure how he does it, but every week he comes away with points, which has been really great for my team. But with City away, it is a tough fixture, so that's why he's on the bench. But it wouldn't surprise me if he came away with points again while he's on my bench. Looking at my defensive options, it looks best to put Gehi on the bench, but I could change my mind at the last minute. With Anderson, depending on what Arteta says about Timber, he might come into the starting 11, but I have to wait until later today to find that out before I can make that decision. I'm not too worried about playing Casemiro. He's 1 yellow card away from being suspended, so I'm not rushing to play him right now. Plus, he's not very attacking. I got him in instead of Mbumo a couple weeks ago because I couldn't afford Mbumo. But now with these transfers, I have a bit more room to play around, so will probably be my next transfer out. And speaking of transfers, last week I said the moment I could get Enzo out, I would, and that's what I did. I already used one of my 5 free transfers and I brought in Bruno Guimaraes before his price rose and before Enzo's price fell. So I finally won something this season, right? With that transfer used, I have 4 free transfers remaining. The rest of them I'll be using to set up to play my bench boost. I was a bit tempted to bring in Foden or Bruno Fernandes this week, but I think I'm gonna wait 1 week just to see how things look, and then I'm gonna be setting up for my bench boost, but I'll talk more about the options that I'm thinking about in that video. Overall, this season has been an absolute roller coaster for me. Like the highs, they last like 2 seconds, and then the lows, you have to endure them for several weeks. But that is FPL for you, right? Pain, hope, disappointment, repeat. Either way, that wraps up my Game Week 16 team selection video. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss my next video. Leave your questions and comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck this game week, and as always, may your hours be good.